Hi guys, Darth Deuces here, back in our Star Wars During the Cornish figure review, and today taking a look at another older figure release. This is the AT-AT Commander from the first run of Vintage Collection back in 2010. I think this figure is even from the very first wave. I could be wrong about that, but the first wave was mostly, if not all, Empire Strikes Back figures, and I think this figure was one of them. Yeah, pretty cool figure. Kind of like a pseudo modern General Veers, I guess. It's technically not General Veers. He's just AT-AT Commander, and he doesn't have the right rank on his armor, so it's not Veers. But it's like the closest thing to a modern Veers right now, I suppose. But surprisingly expensive figure. I only paid $10 for it, but looking at this figure online, I don't know why, but this figure is like really expensive. And it's kind of interesting. We haven't really gotten any figures, modern figures with this like armored officer look, which is kind of interesting. But let's take a closer look at the figure. So yeah, this isn't specifically Veers. It's just a normal AT-AT commander. And you can tell that he only has the rank of captain, and also the head sculpt looks nothing like Veers. But otherwise, he can work as like a pseudo Veers because, he's still wearing like the same armor and whatnot if you want to. The helmet looks pretty good. It's sculpted and painted pretty nicely. It does have the goggles on it. The goggles are removable. However, they're a really tight fit on the helmet, and it's really difficult to get them on the helmet. And then the figure can wear the goggles, but then the helmet doesn't sit very well on the head. So some improvement there would have been nice to have the better options, but it is still cool. The helmet is removable, and you just have a normal looking head sculpt, I guess. The hair looks nice. Maybe somewhat looks like Veers, but not really, because Veers didn't have like brown hair. But it looks good for like older Vintage Collection head sculpt anyways. The chest piece looks real nice. It's just a separate piece there. The paint apps look pretty good. You can actually remove the armor if you want. You just got to pop the head off and then slide it off. And then you have the, I guess, just whatever's underneath. Which this good chunk of this body is reuse of previous Imperial officer bodies. You can definitely tell from the arms and the torso. The rank plaque he has is not painted underneath. It's also not the same rank as on the actual armor. And while it is kind of cool, you can remove the armor, I guess. I don't really see much point because you can't remove the armored belt from the figure. It's part of the mold of the lower waist, so I don't really see much point in removing the armor, but it is an option you can do should you want to do it. But the rest of the figure is pretty basic looking. This light gray. He's got black gloves on. Does have a holster there. It stores his blaster on the hip. The legs might actually be unique to this figure. I'm not sure, but they're different from other officer figures I have. So that's kind of cool. And you got the boots. Unfortunately, they did not make the hinges on the boots, though, black, which is a little annoying. But I guess not a big deal. Articulation-wise, it's not too bad. Ball joint at the neck, hinges at the shoulders, hinges at the elbows, but they do not bend 90 degrees. Swivel at the wrists. There's a swivel at the waist. Just swivels at the hips, and they don't go too far because they are fairly hindered by the lower part of the tunic. Hinges at the knees, which rotate and bend about 9 degrees, and it hinges and swivels at the ankles. So decent articulation. It's an officer. I'm not going to have him in crazy poses anyways, so it's perfectly fine for what I need. But obviously, of course, we could use updated articulation. It'd be really cool to get this style of officer on the new officer mold. Accessory-wise, like I said, you're seen and seen. You can remove the helmet, and the goggles are also a separate accessory. The chest armor is a separate accessory if you want to count that. And he does come with a Stormtrooper blaster that's just holstered on the hip there. And you can have the figure hold it, and he grips it fairly securely. So that's nice, but I don't know if I want to bother having him hold it. Probably just have it holstered. I guess for some comparison, oh, come on. Here he is with a figure he actually shares parts with. Here he's with Captain Nita, and they share the same arms and pretty close to the same torso underneath the armor as well. But they are different legs and different lower waist piece as well. They look pretty good together. Here he is with the new modern officer mold with Moff Gerard. Like I said, I'd really like to see a new General Veers really on this mold. They just have to reuse. We did just have to have a little bit of reuse, but overall they could be an easy figure for them to make, and I feel like that'd sell decently well. But these figures still look good together. Then for fun, here is the most modern Veers Hasbro's made, which is the Black Series Veers. So you can just see the differences. Colors are completely different. And then obviously the head sculpt are different and whatnot. I think they really nailed the Black Series Veers. This is really good because you guys got the two looks in one. You had the armored look, and then you can remove the armor and the belt and the helmet, and he came with his hat, and then you could have just his normal officer look from when he's on the executor talking to Darth Vader. So this is a really sick figure. I still really like this Veers a lot. All they really have to do is just use the new officer mold and just design it like this Black Series figure for 3¼ inch, and they'd have a pretty good Veers on their hands. So I'd like to see them do that. Whether they ever will, I have no idea, but it'd be nice if they did. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty cool figure. I would not spend the money that people are asking for online. I think it's crazy how much this goes for. I do not know why it's so expensive, but yeah, if you can get it for cheap anyways, and you don't have it, I'd recommend it. Otherwise, I'd maybe wait to see if we get a new Veers at some point. That'd be nice, but again, I don't know if I'd hold my breath on it either. So I don't know, but it is a cool figure if you can't get your hands on it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know anything down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.